Under the bed.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, yeah.
They say the heat can make a person crazy.
Nobody wraps someone up like that underneath the bed and they just died naturally.
No. And there are few places hotter than Florida in the middle of August.
So basically, it's pretty much always a ruckus over here.
Yeah.
And few people are more unhinged than a Florida man.
He's gonna be in here, guarantee it.
Hiding from the law.
Show me your hands, bro. Make sure you got your hands in view.
The penalty is death.
Get your family out of here. Why me? I will have my attorney call you.
So unbelievable.
August 28th, 2022. A housekeeper at a motel in Bradenton, Florida, clocks in at work. She spends her morning scrubbing counters and fluffing pillows while guests are away. Then, just after lunch, she pushes her cart down the second-floor breezeway and uses her master key to open the door to room 217. She notices the sheets on one of the beds are missing. That's when she peers underneath it and makes an unexpected, gruesome discovery. The missing sheets, now bloodied. The Manatee County Police Department is on the scene in minutes.
217?
Fire and rescue arrive first. The 911 dispatcher briefed them on the call, but they never could have expected what they're about to walk into.
Oh, man. I did that.
The housekeeper points to where police can find it.
Yeah.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, yeah.
A body wrapped in bed sheets.
Might as well get out of there.
All right, guys, watch your step. Don't touch anything. I might try to clean up this bleach in there.
10-4.
It seems Manatee County is now looking at a homicide.
All that stuff, somebody's trying to do some serious cleaning.
Yeah. I mean, nobody wraps someone up like that underneath the bed and they just died naturally.
No.
The homicide unit arrives, and the responding officer gives them a rundown of what he already knows.
Are you guys taking over from the crime scene?
We're just taking a whole report, but what you need, you want to crime scene?
No.
Is there anybody in 216?
I knocked, nobody answered.
No one answered at this point.
I don't know if anyone's in there or not. The only thing I did, fire brought up the box spring. The mattress was the way it was when we arrived. The only thing that was down was the box spring, and fire lifted it up when the maid pointed that she was under the bed.
The breezeway, filled with law enforcement and lined with yellow caution tape, signals to other motel guests that something bad must have happened in that room.
Somebody did something. I mean, she's always up here making a fool of herself. That's all I know.
Was she with anybody?
Overall, always sits outside of the report.
Okay. Did you guys see her with anybody else yesterday, or
I didn't see her with anybody.
nobody? And you didn't
She's
hear
always just with that one young boy.
one young boy? Do you know his name? You know what he looks like?
Skin like that? I don't know.
Blonde hair, black hair,
Brown, I think.
brown, white male?
I really don't know. Other people tell me. I just like, I don't want to get my drama, so I don't care.
All I know is it's some young dude.
Investigators aren't yet sure who the victim in room 217 is. All they know for now is what they can see. She's a woman, young in her 20s or early 30s, and she's suffered multiple injuries that appear to be stab wounds. As for the man neighbors describe, investigators haven't seen him around yet. There are security cameras mounted along the breezeway and near the stairs, but in a stroke of bad luck, or maybe in a premeditated act, the cameras have all been disabled.
Oh, they're all unplugged.
How come all the cameras are unplugged?
Yeah, that one's unplugged. The one down there is unplugged.
Every one of them. All of them are. All of them.
So, for now, investigators are relying on descriptions from nosy neighbors, hotel staff, and potential witnesses.
Is it a white male, black male, Hispanic?
It's a white guy.
White guy?
But then you see white guys, you see black guys, you see Mexican
Oh yeah,
guys.
undeniably, there's guys.
So
that
there's
come
guys
to
coming
see
in and
her
out.
all the time.
Undeniably, there's guys.
Because
that
I'm constantly telling
But
them,
the
mind
dude
your
she's
own
always
business,
with
stay
is a
away
white
from
guy,
these
like,
people.
Okay.
on a consistent basis.
Do you remember how tall he is roughly?
5'8", 5'9", probably.
5'8", 5'9"?
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
So basically, it's pretty much always a ruckus over here.
Yeah.
Did you know that your personal data is being harvested and sold online by data brokers? Anyone can buy your personal details. When this happens, you're at risk for a whole host of things like identity theft, becoming the target of phishing scams, potential stalking, and honestly, a ton more. And that's why I'm so happy to tell you about our sponsor, Delete Me. Delete Me helps keep your personal info private. I use Delete Me, and honestly, it's crazy what I found. They found 1,047 data brokers with my personal information and very quickly removed my data from 215 total listings. Doing that myself would have taken me a full 8-hour workday. And they're going to keep monitoring the sites for you to make sure your info doesn't end up back on there after the first removal. Using Delete Me has given me peace of mind about my family too, because if someone buys your data via a data broker, they can see info about your relatives too. So right now, you can get 20% off Delete Me and protect your personal data. Go to joindeleteme.com/investigates and use the promo code investigates at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/investigates, promo code investigates.
I talked to the neighbors next door. They say it's constant in and out of drug addicts.
Okay.
But she's normally with some white guy who's about 5'8", 5'9". So that's about all they can tell me.
Don't know her name?
I haven't even.
No, did the people know her name?
I don't think so.
Okay.
They just know she was here causing, saying they're all geeked out on drugs, constantly falling down the stairs.
Disabled cameras and a room that might serve as a crash pad for transients and alleged drug users could lead to a drawn-out investigation. But in this case, investigators have a helpful piece of information up their sleeve: the motel logbook.
Said they've been staying for a month. Hey, Sergeant Jones, you still have the paperwork when she checked in? What time? When did she check in? The 21st.
The motel log identifies the victim as 26-year-old Jennifer Pergolizzi. A deep dive on Pergolizzi's social media accounts doesn't officially confirm what the motel neighbors said about drug use in room 217, but interactions on her posts do indicate that Pergolizzi was going through something. The motel log also confirms that Pergolizzi has been staying at the motel for the last week. Her boyfriend, the man who investigators want to track down now, has become a familiar face in the downstairs lobby.
I saw him walking past the subway around 11:30 with a black male. He was wearing red shorts, but they said he always goes down to the lobby every morning or every other morning for coffee. Okay. So if we don't have him on video here, if they have the video camera in there, we might take him up on one of those cameras.
By the late afternoon, investigators have spoken to enough people to come up with a name for their suspect: 24-year-old Stephen Joseph Cozens, a local with a lengthy rap sheet consisting of smaller charges like petty theft and trespassing. Cozens and Pergolizzi both live in Bradenton, and based on their social media posts from the previous year, it seems like they've been in a relationship for a while. But the pair might have been struggling. It didn't seem unusual for them to spend time in motels, and they sometimes went long periods without seeing each other. Now, investigators have gathered enough information about Cozens to make an arrest. They just have to find him. Cozens hasn't returned to the room, but they have a feeling he didn't go far. At 3 p.m., he was seen at the Walmart just half a mile away. Then around an hour later, Cozens was spotted at a nearby gas station. As police canvass the area, one woman comes forward to tell investigators they just spoke with Cozens not 5 minutes earlier.
The lady who says he's in this area right now says that.
Yeah, I'm just going to push up a little bit.
I just talked to him 5 minutes ago. He's over there by the big shop.
Well, the best thing to do is fucking get out in plain sight and put your hands up.
In the sweltering Florida heat, investigators know their suspect can't hide outside for long. At some point, he'll likely head into a nearby building or try to take off in a vehicle. And when he does, they'll be there, waiting to put him in cuffs.
Hey, this is where he's gonna be in here. He's gonna be in here, guarantee it.
The search dog, Boss, trails a fresh scent, and the officer knows Cozens is close by.
Show me your hands, bro. Show me your hands. Come out now. Come on out. Walk to me now. Walk up. He's sitting right here. Make sure you got your hands in view. Hey, hey.
No, come here. Right to me.
Hey, hey.
Good boy, Boss. Cozens only makes it 5 hours on the run before Boss and the Manatee County Homicide Unit place him in cuffs.
Hey, pick that up for him. Cigarette.
Hey, can you get gloves?
While a few officers hang back to gather possible DNA evidence, Cozens is placed in a squad car and driven to the Manatee County Sheriff's Office for questioning. And from the start, investigators are curious about the Florida man they just found hiding in the bushes, less than a mile from where he allegedly killed a woman.
So what's your story, man? I gotta know, because you're a pretty slim guy. You got a problem with drugs? Okay, how long? Most of your life? Because you were a pretty big dude. One time you looked husky. Big. You know, what's your drug of choice?
Heroin.
Heroin. Fentanyl. Man. Russian roulette, man. What is it you think you're here for? Okay. And who is the person that you murdered? Okay. All right. So we got the hard part out of the way.
Without an attorney present, Cozens is quick to confess to killing his girlfriend. But investigators want the details, especially because Cozens alleges Jennifer is the one who started the argument that led to her death.
Just tell us what happened. We have a pretty good timeline, but just break it down for us.
Me and her were arguing, and she says that I was cheating on her with an invisible woman.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry. And she tried to stab me.
Okay. Let's see what you got there. Don't take them off. That's what that is?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll look at them later. That's fine.
Up until the murder, Cozens had been living at the motel turned crime scene. Pergolizzi was staying with him when an argument broke out over whether Cozens was cheating on her.
So obviously, you and Jennifer, you're at the hotel, right? You're in the room. And what are you doing when this starts?
She was getting hung, right?
Okay. Okay. And you were doing what?
Laying in bed.
You were laying in bed. Okay. And is she in the same bed with you? Okay. And there are 2 beds in the room? Okay. One closest to the door or the one closest to the bathroom?
Closest to the bathroom.
Okay. So you're laying in bed, she's laying in bed, and she starts in with this invisible people, you're having an affair. Okay. And then what happens?
She tries to attack me because she's tired of me being a scumbag.
Okay.
And I defended myself.
Okay. And describe that. What happened?
Well, I pushed her off of me, and I got the knife and I stabbed her.
Okay. All right. She was just on your ass and wouldn't let up. Every day. Yeah, like a chihuahua. You know, like a barking dog nipping at you. You know? I understand.
Apparently, Cozens defended himself against Pergolizzi repeatedly because police could see she had multiple stab wounds, something Cozens doesn't deny.
How many times do you think you stabbed? You recall? A lot. Okay.
So what's going on in this moment? Okay. So you've disarmed her. She's tried to stab you. You've disarmed her. She is. You now have the knife. Okay. And are we on the bed still? You're on the floor. Where at? Between
In between the beds.
in between the beds. Okay. And you're on top of her at this point? Okay. And what is she wearing?
She had a white shirt on.
Okay.
And some shorts.
White shirt and shorts? Okay.
A white shirt stained deep red by the time investigators got to the hotel room that afternoon, after Cozens had already tried to clean up the scene.
Somebody's trying to do some serious cleaning.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what'd you do?
Tried to cover it up.
Okay. Describe to me. So you tried to cover it up. What does that mean? Tried. Okay. All right. And what did you do?
Used the towels, the wipe the floors, everything. Took the bed sheets and wrapped her.
Okay.
And then I stuffed her under the bed.
Okay. And you did that.
One closest to the door.
Right. And you did that by yourself? Okay. And did you use a cleaner? No. So we found a bottle of Fabuloso in there.
That's from the cleaning ladies.
They're saying it's not theirs.
It's not mine.
Okay. All right then. I believe you.
Cozens tells the detective that it took him about 2 hours to clean up the motel room, pack up his and Pergolizzi's belongings, and push her body underneath the bed.
Okay, so you didn't use anything to try to clean up. You just water and towels. Did you use any clothing? Did you throw any clothing out when you were done? Because the room looks vacant, right? So did you have clothing in there and Jennifer had clothing in there? Okay, so obviously you took your stuff with you. And where's your clothing? Okay.
It's not clear how long Cozens thought he would make it, hiding out in the woods just across the street from the crime scene and about a 4-minute walk from the Manatee County Sheriff's Office, because Cozens made plans to hang out with friends after he killed Jennifer.
Did you tell anybody what happened? No, you just kept it to yourself. Even when you were with them today? Did they know something was up?
They could kind of tell.
Right, from your demeanor?
That, and then just all the cops everywhere.
Right. You know, funny story. So we're out there, and the whole time I know you're nearby. Right? It's bugging me. I'm like, this happened.
Were you at Chevron?
No, I was in a pickup truck.
So you talking about the Chevron station?
Yeah, but right in front of Walmart.
Were you there?
No.
Okay.
But because I knew you were in Walmart at 3 something, and then I think you were at Chevron around 4, and I'm like,
He arrived.
yeah, I'm like, he's around here somewhere. You know, I couldn't figure out, I just couldn't find any place you had to go, right? You didn't really have any transportation, and I figured you had little to no money, and so that's when I had everybody regroup, and I said, we got to find the guy. He's around here somewhere. The fact that you didn't run, told me, I felt very confident that you were going to own it, and you were going to talk to us. And because, you know, even if I thought you were going to be we'd have still brought you food. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we deal with a lot of terrible people, and I'm not saying you're one, because I think the gravity of this is weighing on you pretty heavy. So listen, man, here's the deal, okay? Obviously, you're going to get charged with murder, okay? It's going to be 2nd-degree murder, okay? It's not 1st degree. You know, obviously, you're not dumb. You know, we recorded all of this, and we record that to protect you and us, okay? Our crime scene people are going to come over. They're going to take some photos of you, okay? So there's going to be some things some process. You're going to be here for a little while, okay?
The detectives leave Cozens in the interrogation room to finish his food before the crime scene analysts come in to photograph his scratches. In the end, Cozens was charged with premeditated 1st-degree murder for the stabbing death of Jennifer Pergolizzi and faced up to life in prison. But the week Cozens is set to go to trial in December 2024, the state amends the charge to 2nd-degree murder with a weapon, and Cozens accepts the plea deal. Stephen Joseph Cozens is sentenced to 60 years in prison. If he lives long enough to see the outside of a cell again, he will be 86 years old.